Hello everyone, my name's Holly and I'm 31 years old and I've been fighting breast cancer for a year and a half now. At the age of 29 years old I was diagnosed, and like any other young girl I had a full-time job. I had a flat that I run. Obviously I used to enjoy my life, going out, partying, not too much. And then obviously we got the bombshell that I had breast cancer. What was it like when I found out that I had cancer? It was absolutely devastating. To be honest, I went to the doctors and the doctor told me that he thought it was a cyst, and I was like, okay, but you need to send me for a scan because I'm such a worrier. I was like, this won't sit right with me, you need to send me for a scan. So he put me in to have a scan, and then I went to see my consultant, and my consultant obviously examined me and he was like, Holly, it's a cyst, I'm sure it is, go over and have your scan. So I went over and had my scan, and whilst I was in my scan, she said to me, Holly, I can just seen something in your lymph node. I've got to take a biopsy from your lump. And I looked at her and I was like, oh, why? Is there something wrong? She said, you're going to have to go under a local. I said, well, I've got to go back to work after this. And she was like, oh no, like you need to cancel your work then because you're going to go under a local. We need to take this now, Holly. I was like, right, okay. That moment where I took my sheet over to my consultant and I handed it back to him, and I said, oh, I've just had a biopsy done. She said it was a bad lump, and I could tell by his face. He said, oh, what? She said, you had a bad lump, Holly? And I said, yeah. He said, oh, no worries. He said, we'll see you soon. As soon as I got outside in the car Googling, I googled lymph node. Straight away it comes up that it's cancerous. I'm then ringing all my friends, oh, it's this, it's that. I just thought, you know what, I've got to be positive. So I think it was about 10 days I had to wait for my results. I was actually positive I was going to work. I weren't moping about, I was getting on with it. How I found my lump was, you don't get no symptoms with having breast cancer. I wasn't ill or anything. The only thing I would say is that I had flu for the week. Every night I have a little routine. When I go in, I go home, have my bath, get in bed. But where I had the flu, I wasn't doing my little routine. So by the end of the week, I felt better. So I went in the bath and I was just washing myself in the bath, and then I just come across it and found it. My lump was 7 centimetres when I found it. And obviously, if I found this a little bit before, maybe it wouldn't have gone into my lymph node, but obviously it is what it is. And in that news, in that room, it was hard. I basically had a panic attack. I was going to be sick. I just think when they say that word, like when they say cancer, you think you're going to die. And the first thing I said was, am I going to die? Am I going to die? He was like, no, Holly, you're not going to die. Like, you're not going to die. We're going to look after you. But when somebody says cancer, you think you're automatically going to die. I've had fertility treatment. I've had chemotherapy. I've had a mastectomy. 4 operations actually, because I've had 2 in lockdown. And then I've had radiotherapy, I'm now on chemo tablets, and then I'm done. But if I would have found this a little bit before, I might not have been through that because it went into my node. That is why I've had to go for all this treatment. Some people just have the lump removed and then have their radiotherapy. But obviously I was the unlucky one, but you know, there's some people that are going through worse than me, so it is what it is. Also, I did want to say, if anyone is about to start chemo and can have the cold cap, because a lot of people can have the cap, it's only like a certain few people, obviously breast cancer patients can, I won't stress enough, please try and use it. Because I only lost my hair from this section, and I just used to wear a hat and I just used to leave my 2 bits down like that. And I've got this little bit of hair in the back of my head, which everyone keeps telling me to cut off, but just leave me alone, I don't want to cut my hair off. At least it can go back now and I can just have it as a little bun. But that is probably the worst thing for a girl, is to lose her hair. So that is what the worst thing is to go through this, is to lose your hair. And I know that sounds probably bad, but you know, it's a girl's identity, their hair. And I had long hair down to here, and I actually cut my hair off into a bob before I started chemo. So anyone that's gonna have chemo, I would actually suggest to cut their hair into a bob, because your hair's not falling out in clumps and it's not all coming out like that. I just used to brush it and it just used to obviously be coming out in my brush. But yeah, please try and wear the cold cap. Also, really good advice for the cold cap. I used to wear a dressing gown, a tracksuit, fluffy socks. I used to have a hot water bottle around my neck and listen to music. The first 10-15 minutes. If you can get through the first 10-15 minutes, you will do fine. You know, I lost my eyelashes, I lost my eyebrows towards the end of my chemo, and I did look sick then. But if you can keep a little bit of your hair and just style it however, I just used to wear hats, then you're good. The lowest point of this journey was my surgery, and I've never actually told anybody this, and this is kept private to me, and this is the first time that I'm actually speaking out about this, only a few people know, was my surgery. So I actually went in on Christmas Eve and had my lymph nodes removed, and that panicked me because I thought, why am I going in on Christmas Eve? Like, why is he sending me in on Christmas Eve to have my lymph nodes removed? Like, is there something seriously wrong with me? Because I had my scan results back and my lump hadn't shrunk. So I thought to me, you know, is it spread somewhere else in my body? But it wasn't. It was only because that was the only day that you had to have it done, because my surgery was in January. And obviously I went in Christmas Eve to have my lymph node removed, and then a couple of weeks later I had my surgery. My surgery was a mastectomy and reconstruction. My reconstruction was from my inner thigh. I didn't have no fat from my tummy to have it taken from there, like people have, like say, a tummy tuck. And I've never actually met anybody that has had the same surgery done as me. I've only met people, and I was with people on my ward that had only had it taken from their belly. So it was all new to me, and I didn't know what I was going into. I'd never met somebody else that was gone through the same thing. So this is also why I'm doing this video, because, you know, if there is another young girl out there that's having my surgery, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. That was the worst time of my life, that surgery. Being in that hospital was just hell. So my operation was 7 hours, and then I come back, and then I had to be bedbound for 3 days because I couldn't walk. And when you have a mastectomy, you have to be like this and sit like this, because you have, your arm is obviously being reconstructed, and you have new nerve endings that are going back into your body. So I had to lay like this, and I could only move my head from side to side for 3 days. So the anxiety was horrendous. I had to learn to walk again because I've had it from my inner thigh. But also, what I want to say is, I haven't chosen for this to happen to me, and obviously I've kept this private because I felt like I didn't want people to know, because obviously, like, they're going to see all scars and stuff on my body, but really I should be proud of my scars. There's people that go and pay to have this surgery done to themselves, and I've not chosen for this to happen to me, so why should I be ashamed of myself? Also, I felt like I didn't share it because I am a single person, and men are shallow, men are shallow, and they, you know, they might not want to date someone that's been through what I've been through. So that's also why I haven't shared it, but then that's probably me being shallow, so I shouldn't be shallow. I should be proud of myself, and I am really proud of myself now. I think my body looks amazing. That's also why I didn't want to tell people, because I hadn't seen anybody that had my operation, so I didn't know what my body was going to look like. But at the end of the day, there's only a little scar. It's going to go white, so it's fine. A lot of people ask me what inspired me to share my journey with others. I just wanted to make awareness to all other women, and also, you know, give other people that are going through the same thing as me positivity, and share stuff and advice that I have, you know, researched, or advice that I've been given, because, you know, it's good to hear it from someone that's going through the same thing as you. So since I've done my Instagram, I'm feeling really happy that I've done it, and I'm proud that I've done it. You know, I've been thinking about it for so long, and all my mates are like, Holly, you got to do it, like, you'd be so good. And I was a bit nervous to do it, and even before, like, I just had my girls chat, and I just used to send my girls chat the pictures. I had my personal Instagram, obviously, when I was on chemo and stuff, but I'd never post a picture of me in hospital or me having chemo. I just didn't do that then. It's only now that everybody's seen all of the pictures. And I'm so happy that I've done it, because I've had so many messages from people saying they're going through it, they've just been diagnosed, and, you know, what can I say to them, and that my page has given me inspiration and hope that, you know, that they're going to be all right, and they look at me as a young girl and I'm still living my life and obviously going through what I'm going through. And And also, like, it's really weird, like some people would, I say if I'm going out socially, some people will say, Holly, like my friend's just been diagnosed with cancer and they're following your page and they're sending this and that to other people, and it's just like, wow, I can't believe like that people were sending my page to other people. It's just mental. But I suppose that's the good thing about social media. So who is my biggest icon and inspiration? I haven't got like a celebrity that I'd look up to, anything like that, because I just think that would be silly. My mum is my inspiration. You know, my mum, she's also been through a lot in her life as well, and she's a very strong person, and I just think that I would not have got through this without my mum. She has got me through it. I get my strength from her. You know, like she don't cry, I don't cry. It's so weird, but then sometimes I will cry. But you know, the worst part of this for me was when obviously I got told and we got taken into another little room, and I remember sitting there with my mum, and then I turned to her and I was like, I'm just so scared, and she cried, and that's the first time I've really ever seen my mum cry. She don't cry at anything. So my mum is a strong woman, and I think that is an icon to look up to. What would I say if someone said that I was an inspiration to them? I don't know, it just makes me feel a bit silly. Not silly, but I just feel a bit like, what, you think I'm an inspiration? Because I just think of myself as just being normal. But I suppose how they maybe think that I'm an inspiration is because I'm positive and I'm real, and I will write down everything that I felt and feel, and you know, I don't sugarcoat it. I literally just say how I feel about things, and I think maybe that's why people think I'm an inspiration, is because I am real and I just speak how I speak because I'm just normal. Who did it hit the hardest? I'd probably say my mum, but my mum, she's a very strong person, but then I'll like hear her on the phone to her friends. Like obviously during lockdown she hasn't been to work because of being around me. My mum works in a private hospital and NHS patients was coming in, and she couldn't be around them and obviously be around me whilst I was having radiotherapy and stuff. So, and then I did hear her on the phone the other day to her friend, and she said, oh, like, I'm actually quite glad that I'm back to work because I'm not like sitting indoors thinking about Holly all the time. She said, I just sit and think about her all the time. So I probably would say my mum, it's probably hit the most, yeah. And then my brother, but he doesn't really say too much, my brother. He runs away, like he couldn't come up to chemo with me. He would do like an appointment with me to come see my oncologist, but my brother, yeah, I do think he's probably hit my brother as well. He tends to, he's good, but he tends to run away from it a little bit, but he always rings me and sees how I am, and I see him all the time. But yeah, my brother I do think as well, but he just don't speak about it. So everyone deals with it differently. So, and that's what I mean. So, and also that people that obviously been on my journey and are not on it now, like some people can't deal with it. So, you know, if people can't deal with it, it's their choice. So, and it is what it is. Also, I want to say to people, you know, going through this, you have to find little things that make you feel good and make you feel happy. Like I go on little walks, I'll go for a little bike ride. Like obviously I have my clean eating. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I do have a little cheat, but you know, everything that you do has to be good for you and positive for you. Like say, there's people that have been in my life, and I've been on my journey and was on my journey at the beginning, but now they're not on my journey because they couldn't support me anymore. You know, you have to get rid of people that are going to be negative or not supportive in your life. You need to surround yourself with people that love you. So everything that you do, you need to make everything, it is about you. It is about you. If you've got cancer, I'm sorry, but it is all about you, you know. And I just think you need to do everything that makes you happy. So you've just got to be happy. Have I been given the all clear? So basically, there's no cancer in my body, but I'm still having treatment. So to me, until all my treatment's done, that's when I'm all clear, and that's when, as soon as I ring that bell, that is when I'm all clear and I'm all done and Holly can go back to her normal life. So at the moment, there's no cancer in my body, but I still haven't rung that bell yet. So once I ring that bell, then I'm done and I'm back to my normal life again. And I just want to thank literally everybody that's in my life. So my friends, my family, people that follow me on my journey, like anybody that has that has been on my journey with me, you know, anyone that even like texts me and asks me how I am, you know, you don't know how much that means to me. Like just even a little message just to see how I am, you know, it does mean a lot to me. So I just want to thank everybody and anybody that has followed my journey, and I just can't thank you all enough. Like I've had the biggest support system, and it makes me feel so loved. So I couldn't thank everybody enough.